arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night, and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that I thought was quite embarrassing was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoot.
You're essentially arguing they've got only a...
Rapper Pooh Shiesty's lawyers just walked out of that courtroom and they had a lot to say. And what they said raises one very simple question that the government has not answered yet. Where is the evidence? Here is what went down inside that hearing today. The government showed up with a case built around 5 individuals who claimed something happened at a Miami hotel back in April 2021. A drug and gun transaction that allegedly turned violent. 5 people pointing the finger at Pooh Shiesty. One of them reportedly a well-known figure who is now cooperating with federal authorities. That is what the government brought. And here's what they did not bring. No contract. There is allegedly a document, a mystery contract that was supposedly signed during this incident. Or something that should exist if the story the government is telling is true. They do not have it. No copy, no photograph, no video of anyone signing anything. That contract does not exist in their hands. No guns. Allegedly weapons were involved that night. The government has not recovered them. No jewelry. Also allegedly part of what happened. Also not recovered. 3 things that should anchor a federal case of this size. 3 things the government cannot produce. Now here is where it gets interesting. This case took 3 months to build. 3 months before an arrest was made. 3 months before warrants were even sought on the guns, the jewelry, the phones, the computers, any of it. Think about that for a second. The FBI was there the very first night this incident allegedly occurred. They heard the accounts. They saw the scene. And then they did nothing for 3 months. That is not how federal investigations work when the evidence is solid, when witnesses are credible, and a story holds together. The government moves fast. They get warrants immediately. They secure evidence before it disappears. They make arrests while everything is fresh. Here they waited 90 days, and in those 90 days, the physical evidence that could have proven this case one way or the other was never secured. Something else happened inside that courtroom today that raised eyebrows. The FBI agent who actually wrote the complaint, the person who sat down and drafted the document that started this entire legal process against Pooh Shiesty, was present in that courtroom today. She did not testify. The government put a completely different agent on the stand to read what she wrote on her complaint. Her words, defended by someone else while she sat there watching. The defense pointed to this directly because it is a choice, a deliberate decision by the government to keep the person who wrote the complaint away from cross-examination, away from having to answer questions about what she wrote and why she wrote it that way. If the complaint was solid, if everything in it was airtight, there would be no reason to keep her off the stand. And then came the part about the alleged victims themselves. According to what came out in today's hearing, the FBI has not formally interviewed a single alleged victim from that night. Not one. In the months since this case began moving through the system, every witness from that evening has a future scheduled date to give a statement to federal authorities. Future dates. Not completed interviews, not finished statements, appointments that have not happened yet. The entire case rests on what 5 people say occurred that night in Miami, and the government has not yet formally sat down with any of them to lock in those accounts under oath. So here is where everything stands right now. 5 statements and no physical evidence to support them. A 3-month delay before warrants were even sought. An FBI agent who wrote the complaint but did not take the stand to defend it. And alleged victims who have not yet given formal statements to federal investigators. Pooh Shiesty remains in detention while this process moves forward. Discovery comes next. Motions will be filed. Both sides will keep building their arguments in the weeks ahead. But what came out of that courthouse today painted a picture the government did not want this visible this early. They built a federal case against one of hip-hop's most promising artists, and right now, when it matters most, they cannot show the evidence to back it up.